West of the red rocks and arches of Moab, Utah, is one of the most unique landscapes you may ever set eyes on. It's a landscape covered in thousands of strange formations called goblins that energize the human imagination. You can spend hours wandering around the nooks and crannies at Goblin Valley State Park, getting lost within the iconic formations. But best of all, you can camp here. At Goblin Valley State Park, there's a fantastic campground tucked away in this alien landscape. And if spending the night in a tent or a camper is not your thing, they even have a couple yurts you can rent. It's the perfect location to hunker down for a couple nights in an otherwise very remote region of the United States. Please join us today as we explore the campground and all the best nearby things to do in the park and general area. Okay, so first things first, this fabled Valley of the Goblins, where the heck is it? Goblin Valley State Park is considered part of southern Utah, but it's not far from being in the center of the state. Goblin Valley is located about an hour and a half west of Moab, where you will of course find Arches and Canyonlands National Park. It's about an hour northeast of Capitol Reef National Park, perhaps making Goblin Valley a worthy stopover on a Big 5 Utah National Parks vacation. As far as civilization goes, out here, there's not much. The nearest town with gas and services is Hanksville. And in Hanksville, you can score a tasty burger at one of our favorite small-town burger joints, Stan's Burger Shack. All right, let's go get us some Stan's Burger Shack up in here.
So let's try this Hanks burger here now.
We'd be lying to you if we didn't admit to taking a break from campground food at Stan's each time we visit the area.
That experience is probably the best dining experience that I've had of 2023, probably of 2022 also. Not even joking. Oh, I feel good.
Goblin Valley is also located near a pretty well-known geologic formation called the San Rafael Swell, where there are many slot canyons, off-roading, and human history to explore. It's one of our favorite areas of the country. So now that you have your bearings, you can start to see that while some would call Goblin Valley an isolated place, it's actually a rich area to explore with many days of things worth doing. You should know the drill by now. This is Campvue, and we focus on camping. So let's switch our focus to the campground located inside of Goblin Valley State Park. We've tent camped at this park on 2 separate occasions, and even spent a night in one of the yurts. We're happy to say that both times were very enjoyable, but there are some lessons we would like to pass on to you to make your stay the best it can be. We'll take a look at everything in this video. You can shop for campsites and yurts on the Reserve America site, and we'd highly recommend that you make a reservation in advance for this park. If not, you may find yourself out of luck. Here on Campvue, we've already released a campground drive-thru of the campground in Goblin Valley, where you can see every site and make the best choice. Some of the sites here are certainly better than others, although all of them are worthy of an overnight stay. It's definitely worth your time to watch the drive-thru though before choosing a site. The campground is located within a beautiful landscape, similar to the main valleys that make Goblin Valley so iconic. You can even find many interesting cracks and grottos you can explore around the campground. As you can see, there's not any significant vegetation in the campground, so privacy is not the best in general, unless you can nab one of the sites hidden away within the landscape. We also noted that sound bounces off of these formations quite easily, so please be aware of this and practice courtesy by keeping things down after quiet hours. One important lesson we'd like to share, especially for tent campers, is that the lack of trees and vegetation makes for an often windy and dusty landscape. Each time we've camped here, we've ended up covered in dirt because our tents have not been the best at keeping the dirt out. You may want to seriously consider this, as we experience this every time.
I'm in my tent right now, and I came back from hiking out behind the reef and came back to my tent, and it was covered in dirt.
If that's a problem for you, you may want to consider renting one of the yurts. But we'll share some tips to make camping in the windy landscape a little easier. Even though we shared that you are quite isolated out here in this stretch of Utah desert, there are some notable amenities at Goblin Valley that may surprise some. We'll start by saying that they keep you pretty comfortable out this way. As for individual campsite amenities, each site comes with much needed shade in the form of small pavilions. Under these you'll find a picnic table. One pro tip, during gusty days and nights, you might want to consider using the pavilion as a wind barrier as we did. With some bungee cord, you can do just about anything. Just don't expect to keep out the dirt. Each site also has a fire ring. You can usually find firewood and ice at the Park Visitor Center, along with a few other helpful things and information, so make sure to drop by to learn more about the area. The rangers have always been very helpful here. As far as campsite privacy goes, it's a mixed bag. Try for one of the sites located behind or up against the landscape, like sites 11, 12, or 19. We stayed in site 18 the last time we went, which is another good one to consider. It's such a unique landscape, though, that we doubt you'll find too much to be unhappy with here. There are many other great sites, too, that we didn't mention. Perhaps one general piece of advice is, the more central you are in the campground, the less private things become, although we think most sites are spread out well enough to make for a pleasant time. We're going to plug our drive-through video one more time here so you can see them all. The campground has restrooms centrally located with running water, and not only that, they even have shower facilities, which we think is an amazing amenity to have in such an isolated region as this. Very appreciated. They also have trash collection, so no need to pack out your trash. The campground has many spots suitable for larger recreational vehicles, but do note they don't have electric or water hookups, although they do have a dump station on the premises available for guests. The final thing we want to mention are the yurts. They offer 2 yurts for rent at the campground, which you can book on the Reserve America website. They can be hard to come by during certain times of the year, but we've been successful securing a booking before. We enjoyed being out of the dust at least one night on our last trip. The yurt was simple, but clean, and it even has solar power. This means you do have some electricity, but it's not unlimited, and for an operation like ours, we had many batteries to charge. However, we were able to run the lights and charge all of our equipment and never ran out of juice. The yurts are pretty private, with one of them being hidden away well off the road. You'll just need to remember to bring your own bedding, and you'll be set. We can highly recommend the yurts and hope to be able to come back sometime and stay in one again. Even though our main focus is camping here on Campvue, we feel it important to tell you about the stuff you can do near the campground. And at Goblin Valley, there's no shortage of things to do. The main attraction here is Goblin Valley itself, which is where you'll find thousands of little hoodoos known as goblins. This area is divided into 3 smaller areas or valleys that you can explore. It's not huge in terms of square miles, but there's enough here to keep you busy for a half day easily, maybe more, if you want to try and explore every crack in the rocks. If you're a drone photographer like I am, you can even get a permit to fly inside the park. You can do this at the visitor center by filling out a quick form and paying a small fee. Flying in this park was perhaps one of the most enjoyable flights we've ever taken with the drone. There are even more trails and things to explore in the park, like the Goblin's Lair. For those willing to do so, you can climb down into this dark grotto. But you'd be selling yourself short if you didn't take advantage of other things to do in the area outside the park. One of the most remarkable things to do is an easy slot canyon called Little Wild Horse, just a short drive away outside of Goblin Valley. This is one of the best slot canyons we've ever done, and it's considered beginner-friendly and doesn't require any kind of special training or canyoneering equipment. Then of course there's the San Rafael Swell and its endless Utah landscapes. Here you'll find spectacular views, the markings of ancient indigenous peoples that once called this home, and even a dinosaur footprint.
Dude, look at that! A dinosaur footprint.
Perhaps the climax of an adventure into the swell would be the Wedge, often referred to as the Little Grand Canyon. It's quite a sight, especially around sunset. The swell is so feature-rich that it's deserving of its own video, and being as though there are lots of places to camp back in there, Campvue will have to come back and do the justice it deserves. Camping inside Goblin Valley is a magical experience, and now you know how to do it. For a far-out location such as this, it's amazing how much there actually is to do. If you found this video helpful or entertaining, please give it a like, and be sure to tell a friend or two about Campvue. If you want to take things a step further, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on any future campground overviews. Also, we've made several videos about Goblin Valley on our sister channel, the Cactus Atlas, so if you want to see more, including explorations of Goblin Valley or the San Rafael Swell, we have you covered. We hope to see you out there camping, and if you ever see us, don't be afraid to drop by and say hello. See you next time.